Good morning, everybody. This is a rare situation. I haven't seen something like gap like this in quite a while. Usually they're gapping up, not following through like that. And it's a sizable gap. Look at that. And with this it's 430 level, the pivot is up above a little bit, 431. But there's this big open interest in 430 and SPY expiring today. So again, 3 days down, a gap down of this size. I imagine it goes down there. It's a whole number, give or take. So that this price support here, I'm thinking it's going to provide a significant level that's going to hold there. Now, how do we deal with that? Meaning, we just buy it on the open? I don't think so. It's lifting up. Look, it's getting flipped back down again. We have to go down 3 more points, 3.5 points. All right, forget the video. Yeah, I got started a little behind the time there. So I don't think it's going down there today. It just marked off the lower level from what was up above. What was on this pivot, which it pushed down through yesterday. So the next pivot low is down here. The pivot low is like 431. And then that big open interest at 430, which is, like it says right there, 118,000 puts at that strike. Typically is going to act as an area of support. Now, on some wild day, like who the hell knows, something crazy. What would crazy be? I don't know. Joe Biden keeled over, Kamala Harris becomes the president, and I can't even imagine what her first executive order would be within the first 5 minutes, but probably laughing gas for everybody. I don't know. And so anyway, looking at that level as being a pretty significant point where prices should stabilize. And with the size of the gap down, after being down, like more than a measured move, 6% into a support area, they're going to buy something, I think. And look at the weekly chart. Look at where this is right now. Spiders. It's right. You see the 20 MA? That's the 100 MA equal to the 100 MA on the daily time frame. So line that up. You see the cursor just above 430. So we've got multiple reference points lining up in one place. It should be like a steel wall. Right? Well, I think so. That's what it should be. Right? So the 100 MA and same is equal to the 20 MA on the weekly. Big open interest, major support, minor support over here. That consolidation. So very significant level in SPY. Futures breaking through and nothing below. Sometimes they poke through, right? So greater than 100% retracement concept, and it started to move down. It's going down. It's starting to stabilize here. Just taking note of this unfilled gap down here, but based on where SPY is, I think that'll hold. SPX. What did Jake have? What do you saying? Do a call spread, 25 wide call spread, Jake? 4,000. 4,000. Did you stay down there? You know, TC2000 makes all this crazy alignment of the monthlies expiring, makes it difficult to read them. 1025. 1025. 4400. Yeah. Yeah. What's the lower number? I hate with the way they do this. UTE. 4290. Yeah, 4290. 4280. It's coming off a little bit. So it's down here, like 4290. I think we'll be fine. You know, down on support here. And we got this major support. It's going to get tagged right away. So, you know, rallying up above, up to there today, after that gap down, highly unlikely. I wish it was up above there, but, you know, it's gapping down into this area. A gap fill, that seems pretty reasonable to happen. So the morning will be a little erratic. Go back here. All right, let's see. Just hang in there. So maybe one little more flush to the downside. Qs not bouncing too much. And this pivot about 7.5% down into the support area. You know, they led the way down, wide range bar. You know, gapping down onto the pivot. So gapping into a good spot. Again, been going down for a while. Yesterday was a wide range bar. Wide range bars typically give you a heads up that momentum is going to slow. Doesn't mean it's going to turn in a big way today. It could. I doubt we get whatever. Could get a bottoming tail bar. It dips down below here. So keep that as a possibility. Maybe it gaps down and goes down a little further and whips back up again. Interest rates, a little red and pulling back a little bit. So you said this was going to be a problem a while ago, and that's the problem. I heard the guy say today mortgage rates now 7%. Oh, it's fucking 30-year, 50-year, probably. And that just doubled the price of a house. Buyers are going away. Right? See what happened when interest rates pull back. Our internals yesterday they edged toward the into the green. Now, I thought this would have been a little more negative today, but the sentiment moved not, I would imagine, well, you don't know where it's going to be at the end of the day because you don't know what's going to happen by the end of the day, but it's deep enough into these bands. Maybe if they continue to buy more put options, it'll push it below this lower band. And, you know, possibly if 1.2, if it was to tag 1.2, I mean, that's an all out buy signal. So, you know, we'll see what happens there. I'm interested to see this here. Well, we got the extreme a couple of days ago, so not as bad as it was a couple of days ago. VIX is over the high right now. All right. I just wanted to take a look at that. And here. Use bouncing up a little bit down on the bottom. I'm just kind of curious what that is. Not bad. Looking for what they might come up for. You know, their favorites. Microsoft gapping down to a pivot. Keep an eye on that. Amazon was close to the 50. All right. I mentioned yesterday this was showing a little relative strength, and then it kind of gave it up. That's gapping down to the pivot. I think, well, gonna buy something today. Oil flipping off the pivot. Bitcoin broke down yesterday. Nasty move. And see where it's at. So all those buyers got shellacked. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Diamonds, get it moving. Diamonds in the middle of nowhere land. Oh, yesterday was quite the nasty, but the gap down today, again, it was like we talk about this, like, oh, you know, several days down, a wide range bar, you know, it'll gap down, you know, be like a exhaustion gap. And I mean, for the longest time, it just hasn't happened. And today it's happening. It's intraday, nothing like that. What I want to see is the equity put call ratio. Sometimes it leads. Yeah, let's look at that. See, equity put call ratio is already through the lower band there. This is the total put call ratio. So this one moves a little slower. So at times like this, I want to look at that equity put call ratio and see how extreme it is. And you can see, well, down here is where, wow, this was, you know, the beginning of the year there. That set that low. But, you know, that's like really, really abnormal. Like here you can see as it came down into the lower bands here. This is somewhat of a more normal situation. That was falling for a while. And so now as this will come down into this pivot area there, and we look for a turn to happen, you know. So turns, you know, they take a little while. This is the monthly option expiration. So the timing of this and a potential turn going up into maybe what might evolve into today and then into next week. That's what we got to get ready for. All right. What else to look at? I'll turn it over to Dan. You know, gold just hanging there, and silver just hanging for now. And so we'll see what the transports do, since we're going to keep an eye on everything, right? Waterfall down into the pivot there. So everything on some support, a little extended lower. Don't anybody say the word oversold, so we'll kick you out of the room. And anyway, we'll see how long it takes to stabilize, making Roger laugh. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Happy your DTE day. So we actually had a beautiful trade in the spiders. We were long puts. And we talked about it. Should we hold some, hoping for this gap down? And we had decided to take our money until the close, but we made the decision. But yeah, we're getting this beautiful gap down. I would love, as Greg said, one more flush down. We're bouncing here pre-market. Whether it holds or not, I have no idea. I would prefer not. No screen. Greg, I showed it, so it's doing the same thing as before. It's not switching over. Greg, so remember we used to have that problem. Greg, you there? Gregory. Because I'm showing mine. All right, Greg must have walked away. Let me call him real quick because he has the controls. Greg, locked. That's not showing my screen. Can you hear me? Greg says he can't talk, all right, but he hears me. All right, he says YouTube is locked or something's locked, not YouTube, but Zoom or whatever. He said he's trying to fix it. So what do I do if you can't see the screen? I guess just follow along and listen to my symbols, and I apologize for now. He's working on it. So anyway, spiders, what I was saying, broader market, I hope we don't get, I hope we don't hold and we get another flush out lower in the first 30 or 60-minute reversal, because then they'll give us a better entry for selling puts. For getting on anything that we're interested in trading. Yeah, just follow your own screen, please. Sorry about that.
The screen is up.
I don't see it yet on my other computer. Let me just try to reload this.
I see it.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't. Usually I look on my other computer to verify it, and I'm still seeing yours. So that I guarantee you that means not everybody else sees the correct one. If I don't, some don't. Now it's switched. Okay, I reloaded it. Do you all see it now? Yeah, all right, let's go. Let's not waste any more time. All right, so you heard what I said about the broader markets. I had an alarm go off on NCLH. We've been long puts on this. I'll be looking to get out. I mean, ideally, this thing just waterfalls into the 200. But I moved stop right over this last 15-minute bar for now, or 30-minute high. XHB, we've been short. I had an alarm go off there. Costco alarm, we have a call spread. That looks great. UNH, we did a call spread on the gap down yesterday. XLI, we're short in the ETF letter. That looks good. Back to earnings here. Fix. When I saw that gap down last night, that is getting killed.
For them to take home.
What? So nothing to do with Fitch, but that's getting killed. AMAP was all over the place last night, and now it's weak here. Nothing to do. Ross, Sam, and I did 2 earnings trades. shorted the 108s. And I'm gonna let it expire worthless. I have an order in a buy stop contingency. If it retraces all the way back down to 113, then I got a buy order to buy it back at a nickel limits. Bill, Sam and I did what's called a short strangle. We shorted the 130 calls, or maybe 1.25, and the 82 puts. So I still have $10 a cushion. So I'll be looking to try to get out at 5-10 cents at the open keys. Now look, man, that's a big gap. When I saw this last night, it was at 140. And now it's down another $8.50. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of Bill. I have it on the other computer. Let's watch this for an excessive gap situation. A 0 DTE put spread maybe. Thomas, there's two problems with new bearish trades here. Well, there's three. I mean, that's a buy setup into a wide range bar. So that's not an ideal setup, number one. Number two, we're looking for the market to turn, maybe hopefully with one more washout. Maybe the whole day is a washout and we don't get the turn until next Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. But number three, it says earnings next week. So unless you're talking about doing something today, sure, sure. If you can do it over this pivot, 438, but good luck with that, getting any premium. All right, this is what I call every time we say gap and snap or gap and crap trade, you really got to put the word potential in front of it because we have no idea. But something down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars far from the 20. Now you're gapping down 10%. It's a potential exhaustion gap. So I have that in the bottom right here. Glob, that's 170. I mean, it's a bullish gap, but see, look where my 170 is, horizontal daily. It's a bullish gap, but what do you want me to do with that? The gap and halfway up, potential breakdown failure, no price void, no pattern. So we just got to come back to it. Deer 412. I don't know, 30-minute high, possible 0 DT put spread. EL down a lot. That's a potential gap and snap. I'll put that in the window of their computer. Thomas, we've been in RCL short. I'm not sure what you're telling me. We've been in it from the breakdown. It was in last weekend's letter, in fact. So we've been in it 4 days. And again, I'm not interested in swing shorts right now for sure. Day trade possible. Bips gapping down 1480, no pattern. But yesterday I said there was a number. Yesterday I said it was a day trade short based on this 15-minute chart. But now it's not. Look at the pre-market data. It's a climb up. Oh, that's RCL. I'm sorry. I'm mixing that up with NCLH. My bad, Thomas. So yes, it looks lower, but you got to work your entry. And be cognizant of the broader market. XPIV, no pattern. RLX. Now, if this were not $1.50 stock, I know it's down a lot. But that sure looks lower. Leaky opening flat, no pattern. Message $32, gap and resistance, no pattern. Gas. Whipping around, but it's a buy setup. With yesterday's tail, made a new low and closed with a tail. So let's watch that in the first 30 minutes. Not bad. All right, those are all the earnings. Let's see what else is on my list here. So Sam I am gave me this. This could be a continuation day trade short. Hughes and Spiders just made a new low in IWM. So ideally, we're getting this little flush lower that I would love in the first 60 minutes. Now this was a bullish gap up on earnings. I've been watching this for a pullback and a put spread or long. If that came in another day or two, that would be an ideal buy setup. Now, Sergey FNMA. You got to tell me what you want to do with that, because that is a rocket ship. That's a rocket ship, and I don't know what to do with it. All right, Pitco is a buy setup watch, but it has earnings next week. Avgo it's for a new trade setup. This is not bad at all for a short or a call spread. So the only concern is if the market's going to turn, and I call the market the tide. I want to trade with the tide. But that's a nice short setup from a topping pattern. All right, look at bottom right. This was a gap and snap candidate. Look at that. I mean, it's ripping, so nothing to do now, but that was my bias as a short-term exhaustion gap. Bidding, I noticed, yes. Wow, look at the size of that gap after yesterday's bar. What the heck is going on with bidding? Nothing to do now. That's a big old move. Hood, my alarm went off at the 200. Let's see how this closes. I'd prefer a bottoming tail, because right now, to close like this, that is not a potent reversal. MPW, I posted 30-minute high. It's Ross. I mean, it's fine. Like GNRC is one that made a turn. My alarm just went off. Look, that's a beautiful bottoming pattern right here. To close like this, I like it. I'm not doing anything right now, but it's coming out of the gate running, slicing through 15-minute resistance. Nice bottoming pattern. Q, Spider, all 5-minute horsemen are perking. My little bill here. This is my short stress triangle.